Okay guys, so what we're going to be doing in this video is going through the entirety of the script. We're going to be watching together and I'm going to explain what I'm doing throughout this entire script. Now, this video, I want to stress a few things before we get going. This video is not made for you to copy. Okay, it's not like I'm telling you not to copy. What I'm meaning is that don't try and watch this video and copy everything I'm saying word for word. What you need to be doing is when you go through and create your script, if you go look at the deck files, all right, you're going to have this video that we're watching right now. And if you go look at the 2K script template, you're going to have a template that's going to work much better. And it actually timestamps everything that's trying to be achieved. I already showed this to you in the last video, so I'm not going to do it again. But it goes through the entire script step by step and then timestamps the parts of the video for you to watch me executing on that. What I'm trying to do in this video is explain what I'm doing so that when you watch the video, you understand what I'm doing, what I'm trying to accomplish. And you can see all the things we've talked about copywriting-wise going into effect so you can see how to use them in your own scripts. You're going to see me executing this script right here, not verbatim, because it's not word for word, it's not fill in the blank, but you're going to see me following this exact same pattern that is in this script. And so what you need to understand is why I'm saying things and what part of the pattern that I'm at. Not word for word what I'm saying, because you're not going to copy what I'm saying word for word. So that being said, we're going to play this, and this is going to be at 2x speed, so we're not here for 3 hours.
First off, it would take Star Wars levels of CGI to replicate. That's way more money than I can afford.
Okay, so it's going to be like that. It's a little bit quick, so don't play this video in 2x speed, or you're going to be listening to me at 4x speed. So that being said, let's begin.
Good for you, Tom. We got a lot more people pouring on now. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Alex Becker. If you're just hopping in right now, some guy challenged me. This happens every call. He said my car behind me is a CGI, a green screen or something like that. And first off, it would take Star Wars levels of CGI to replicate. That's way more money than I can afford. And secondly, it's just crazy because I don't even drive that thing. I bought that when I was a crazy, really stupid 20-year-old. What's going on, guys?
Okay, so what am I accomplishing right here? This is the intro of the call, and as we go through the slides that you're going to be looking at, what we're trying to do at this point in the call is create a live environment and establish rapport and uniqueness and restate the promise. So what you're seeing me doing right here, the reason why I downplay my car and talk about how I couldn't afford CGI is we have a Lamborghini behind me and I need to separate myself from other people. The best way to establish rapport and respect and trust is to throw yourself under the bus, find ways to show your power without bragging, which is me saying I don't have enough money to afford CGI, and then making it into a joke. I'm also creating it as a unique environment because you can see this is significantly different than other people's webinars, and it kind of looks like I'm live. So people who don't know what a webinar is, this looks very live to them. Now, that also being said, this is very unique because most people don't start their calls off like this, okay? I also want to stress, you probably should not do your first webinar in a live format like this. You should be doing it just from a PowerPoint. You want to bake a muffin before you go completely bonkers like I have right here. You don't need to be doing it filmed like this, but you definitely want to start off, maybe you're in your computer, maybe you're doing something else on your screen. You don't want to start off just with the webinar starting instantly, okay?
Welcome to the call. We're going to get started here in 2 minutes. I see Mary from UK, got Isaac from Texas. Oh, I like Texas. I live in Texas. Good for you. And we all... Wait, if you have any questions throughout the call, I will not be able to answer them live because we have a couple hundred people on. I do have staff standing by to help you out.
Okay.
I think we have enough people on right now.
You see me doing right there is just really quickly pointing out that people won't be able to see each other's comments. Okay, when people are going and commenting on your call, they're not going to see other people's comments, so it's going to seem like they're in a room by themselves, which they kind of are. But you need to go and address that first and foremost, because they're not going to see everything. They're not going to see other people's comments. You definitely don't want people seeing each other's comments. You don't want comments at all on the side because it's just distracting the people. You want them focusing on what's going on in front of them.
Also, I'm just going to get to start. I know you guys probably value your time, like everybody else on planet, so I'm going to be very quick about this. Just a quick little attendance call. Hey, Matt, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Hey, Devin, just checking in. We're about to get started here.
Hey, Alex, yep, hear you loud and clear, dude, and hey to everybody else on call. Devin Zander here. Got a lot of awesome training for you today. Super excited. Worked really hard on this. Alex has a few things to say first, then I'll take over. Then I got some awesome training for you. Super pumped, and I'll talk to you guys in a couple minutes.
Wasn't that a nice warm greeting you had there? Everybody's going to think you're super nice this call. All right, everybody, can you give me A1 if you're ready to get started? And by that, I mean watch us build a $10,000 per month business right in front of you. Actually show you how we build.
All right, so what am I doing right here? I'm wrapping up this part of the call. Create a live environment, establish rapport and uniqueness, restate the promise. Now, one thing you're also going to see me doing throughout the call is saying, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. I believe that's what I'm doing right here. You should actually be doing, give me a 2.
I'm going to think you're super nice this call. All right, everybody, can you give me A1 if you're ready to get started? And by that, I mean watch it.
Because at the end of the call, this is just a stupid superstitious thing. We asked them to take option 2 That they have two choices at the end of the call, and we want them to go through door number 2. And so what you want to do throughout the call is you want to get them typing in 2. You want them to say yes, 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 and you want to get them interacting. Okay? If you can get people putting 2 in there and smashing it in there and interacting, they're going to be much more likely to be more engaged with the event. So ask people to engage.
Let's build a $10,000 per month business right in front of you. Actually show you how we built a $137,000 a month business in the first 30 days of it. Even show you how we took one new store to $501,000 in sales in its first 3 months. So there's a lot of cool stuff you're going to be seeing on this call.
So there's
That
the
sound good to you?
promise.
Okay,
There's
awesome.
the big
So
promise.
quick few questions. Would you like to work from home? Would you like to make more money from home? Would you like to be able to quit your job and at least do something where you're your own boss and work whenever you want? And would you like to basically enjoy all the benefits of having a passive income from home, enjoying choice and freedom in your life? Is that why you're on the call? Can you give me a 2 if that's why you're here? That's great.
Okay, there's the big promise. Money quickly without the things they hate. The big promise that we got in our double diamond and triple diamond exercises, this is where we restate it to hook them again.
Pretty straightforward. That's why everybody hops on this call. Well, look, I'm just going to tell you this straight up. My name is Alex Becker, and while big social media...
Now, what we're going to do at this point in time is we need to show events results, okay? And we want to attach the results of these programs to our coach or our icon. So what our icon is, and I'm going to refer to for the rest of this presentation, we want to make the person that's going to be teaching or training in the course an icon. We want to make them seem like some Luke Skywalker, a person that is so smart and so special that no one could ever hope to replicate the results. But this person is actually going to forge a weapon, a system that the average man can use in this presentation. And so it's very, very important that when we're going through the program, we keep attaching all the results back to the genius of our coach or our icon. We also want to attach the results of this back to the program and the offer throughout the call. Because what we're going to be doing right here is we're going to be using the Trump effect like I talked about before. We're constantly going to be showing the results and people getting results. And every single time we make a claim, we're going to back it up with results. We're going to do the 5 truths tactic, and we're also going to just be stating HCOM gets results, HCOM gets results, HCOM gets results. So they've probably seen HCOM results and the fact of how awesome it is throughout the entire call. But we're not going to go and state that the offer is on the table when we're starting it off. Okay? And we're going to state that the event is isolated to the biggest result tactics. So what they're going to do is we're going to say, look, here's the results people have got on this call. These are the results people have gotten. You're in the exact same place they are, so you're in the right place. How are they getting these results? Well, it's because of our genius icon, our genius coach, who has this system that he's actually turned into a template that anyone can copy. And this is why so many people are able to get results. Now, also, all the people you're seeing getting results right here, they actually joined our program, our inner circle, our mastermind, HCOM, or whatever your offer is. But don't worry, what we've done is this offer isn't even on the table right now. We're not even open to enrollment. We've just taken the cliff notes on the things that we've seen getting people the best results, and we're going to share them with you today. So you're just going to get straight to the things that have gotten all these people results. Does that sound cool? That's what we're doing right here. So that's what you're going to see me execute right here.
If following is not the end all of who you should listen to when it comes to building online business, by all means, do not do that. That being said, a large amount of people do find what I think about online business to be very valuable.
And what I'm doing right here is this is still I'm still in established trust and rapport. I'm showing that I have a large following online, and I'm showing that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm showing I'm basically taking people inside my
I have over
Stripe
270,000
account.
subscribers on YouTube. I have over 280,000 followers on Instagram. And the primary reason for that is because I know a thing or two about building online businesses. You can see right here one of my businesses doing over $1 million a month in sales in March. Here's another month doing $853,000 in sales. And just to double confirm this, you can come over here, check out Google. Right here, site says my net worth is $15 million. And if you come down here, CNBC, confirming that one of my first businesses in my 20s doing over $4 million a year in revenue.
So what did I just do right there as well? Because we might not be perfectly lined up right here. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. But what did I just do? I'm trying to build trust and rapport. So how did I do that? I showed people all the money I'm making while not bragging about it. And I went and confirmed it. So I basically made a claim, backed it up. Made a claim, backed it up. Made a claim, backed it up. When you start doing that over and over and over again, and you go out of your way to be overboard when it comes to being honest, that's when people start to listen and start to believe your claims going forward. Because you're going to see throughout this call, there's a lot of claims. And I need people to not be skeptical the entire time. The worst thing you can do if you don't want people to trust you is not address that elephant in the room the second you start making claims. Okay? So whenever we make a claim saying, man, I made this money, you better go and show people. Whenever you're talking about, I got this result, you better go and show people.
Now, I don't say all these things to toot my horn or say, look how popular or successful I am. I just want to convey to you right now that I do know a thing or two about building online businesses, and a lot of people find my input valuable. And so I'm going to give you my input right now. In all my years of experience of building online businesses, I've been doing this almost for a decade, I've never seen anything work for so many people who have never had any experience, are starting from home, and I've never seen so many people do it in such a reasonable time frame as what you're going to see today, particularly what Matt is going to show you.
All right, new opportunity without the things you hate. Again, I'm just restating the promise, hooking them over and over and over again.
And last call, people got pissed off because we talked about results too much. So before this call, you saw tons and tons of results. There's literally pages and pages and pages of results. If you want to see people making six figures from what I'm about to teach you, these people attended the same call. Michael did over $100,000 actually in his first couple months. You want to see people doing this in 30 days? Here's a bunch of people.
So where are we at right now? We're right here in the pitch. Show the results and the results of students and attendees. Really getting people hooked. Now, what I like to do is if you have a lot of results, it's very powerful when you flip through results very quickly, and it just makes it seem like there's a shit ton of them. You have so many results you don't even have time to talk about them. That's a very powerful thing you can do.
Yami, for example, did $12,000 his first month in sales. This person's mom did $1,500 her first month in sales. Yami actually broke $100,000 in debt. You want to see people not having to go to college? Bruce right here was able to generate over $40,000 and pay off his college debt. You want to see how to build a business without taking tons of time out of your life? The Roof right here was able to generate $359 in his first day doing this. Michael was able to generate $20,000 in his first month. You want to see how to possibly even make six figures from home? Yami right here, here's him making $12,000 his first month. And actually, there's a screenshot of him right here actually making $14,000 a day. Jennifer right here didn't even know what the business model we're about to talk about was, and she did $26,000 in sales for her third month. And do not take my word on any of this. You'll have a chance to go through all these results with a fine-tooth comb. You will even have the chance to meet these people. I just don't want to spend 30 minutes like we do every single call going through all the results. Okay, I want to get you in and out of here, and I want to make sure that you're able to take away as much as possible, as fast as possible. And the reason why all these people are getting results is because they're copying this guy. His name is...
All right. Next step. Connect it to the icon or coach. Connect it to the icon or coach.
Matt Smith, here's one of his stores. In his first 30 days, he did over $137,000 in sales. And in the next 3 months, he did over $501,000 in sales. And by the end of this call, you're going to know the exact loophole that he uses, the business model. You're going to see him do this over the shoulder.
Now, I want to stress, notice how I haven't said Shopify at all. I haven't said Shopify at all. I haven't mentioned how we're doing this or what the system is.
And we are literally going to build a $10,000 per month business right in front of you. And very quickly, all the results you've seen are from us basically sharing Matt's exact checklist and system. I'm not joking. You're going to see this call.
I want you to also notice how I'm repeating the promise over and over and over again to keep them hooked, because that's what pulls them through the pitch. The results people are getting right now, plus the promise, is what's keeping them on right now.
Step checklist he follows to build stores like this, and these results literally from that checklist. And just to give credit where credit's due, all the results you've seen from people, a lot of people didn't even know.
Attach results back to HCOM. Again, what is said a lot is true and important. HCOM gets results. HCOM gets results. HCOM gets results.
What this business model was before they attended this call are from Matt's mastermind group, HCOM. Now hold up, you're not going to get the chance to join this right now. You can't join this right now, and this isn't what this call is about. What this call is across the thousands of people that Matt has helped, and I also help manage this group, we've seen patterns and trends behind the people to get results. And so we feel the best way to help you out in the fastest time frame possible is to first explain this business model to you and then show you all the shortcuts and patterns that people have followed, narrow it down to cliff notes, and then just give it to you on this call. And you'll be able to go out there and get results with it. And the reason why I decided to make this call is I kind of ran into a problem. Long story.
All right, so what I'm doing right now is we've just gone through this point right here, 347 to 634. So what we need to now do is state the purpose of the event. At this point in time, people are going to be super skeptical on why we're doing this event. Okay? Why are we doing this event? Why are we giving away this information? Why are we sharing this information? Well, the best thing you can do right here is one of two things. It's actually a lot better if someone else is the coach, because then you can really talk them up and tell their story. Okay? Now, you can also start saying something very similar to, you know, I've achieved a dream, blah, 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 but all these people kept asking me online how I'm doing this, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing this. And the truth is, you know, what I'm doing right now, I can't really explain. So what I want to do is I want to take back what I started doing at the beginning and narrow it down to just a simple format. Because what I did is I actually created something that was templatable, something like that. You have to explain, there has to be a reason for the event. There has to be a reason for the event. And so it depends on how you're going to go about doing it. What I do in this event, I say, look, I have hundreds of thousands of followers online, and all of them want to see how to start an online business, but the online business that I have, I can't really teach. And so I wanted to go and find somebody who has a system that's actually working for beginners right now. Okay? Now you can also just use the basic, you know, I constantly see people online, or I constantly see people not getting the results they want, and they keep going and doing all these things that just don't make any sense. And I know they're not going to work, and it's just painful for me. And so what I decided to do is I decided to put this event together because, frankly, so many people have been asking me about it, and honestly, there's a little bit of financial incentive for me because a lot of people want to, you know, get in my mentorship group. Again, that's not on the table right now. However, if I can get this out there and I can go and share this information with people and they can go and get results up front, well, then they, in the future, want to do business with me in various sorts of ways. So that being said, I'm going to share this with you today. There has to be a reason for the event. It's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier if you're going through with a coach, because then you're a person who's finding the fire and bringing it to the normal man. If you're the coach on here, you can almost kind of skim past this part. Okay, you're going to see this part's pretty heavy because I have to really connect this event to Matt and not myself.
Cliff Notes and just give it to you on this call, and you'll be able to go out there and get results with it. And the reason why I decided to make this call is I kind of ran into a problem. Long story short, I've achieved the dream online. I've taken all the cool Instagram pictures you could ever imagine. I've reached a level of reputation that most people think is pretty neat. I've got a cool house. I've got a cool car. The problem I had is this stuff is absolutely irrelevant to you. It means nothing. Ignore my car. Ignore my business numbers. They have nothing to do with you, and you're not even starting a business that's similar to the businesses I own. That's my problem. And that's really frustrating because I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers online. That's not tooting my horn. It's just I know what I'm doing, and the information I put out is really good. However, when it comes to helping the people that follow me online start a particular business, I'm pretty almost unhelpful. Here's why. Because when I first got started, when I was in the military, completely broke, and I made my first 1.5 million 2 years later, I did it through a process called SEO. And SEO doesn't work anymore. It's very confusing. I don't suggest you do that. And the way I make money now is from my software company, Market Hero. And I don't suggest you start with SEO, and I also really don't suggest you start a software company. It's a bad, very expensive way, very brutal way to make money if you don't know what you're doing. And so what I want to do is I want to find a person who's actually crushing it today, in today's world, and is going through that breakthrough that I went through around 2012 right now. And most importantly, has systemized it for all the people that follow me. And
Okay, so one thing I'm also doing right here is I'm really downplaying myself a whole lot. And I'm being upfront and honest about how I make my money and what I'm doing. When you're being upfront and honest, that is going to actually build a lot more trust and rapport. You can see how I'm really kind of throwing myself under the bus a lot here, and that's fine because I'm the one speaking. I don't need people to believe I'm the icon. I don't need people to believe I'm the source of the endless information. I just need people to trust me so that when I tell them the icon is the source of the information, the source of the great secret, that they believe what I'm saying. So it's far more important to build trust than it is to make yourself seem amazing, especially if the other person, if you have another coach in your program.
I can go and find someone who has a system like that is put it in a very easy to understand way, and then put it in a way that my followers can copy and they can get results with. That's awesome. It's awesome. It kind of sucks when people are like, hey, how do I start a business? What business do I start? You're like, let me get back to you on that. And that's what this event is for. This is me getting back to it. Because when I started going out there and looking for the exact person who's doing that, one name kept coming up over and over and over again. You probably heard about him in ads and all that hoopla. And his name is Matt Smith. And he's going to be showing you today exactly how he built a 20,000.
Okay, so I stated the purpose of the event so far, and now I need to talk about, all right, so now I need to go and find this coach. And so now I'm going to tell the story of how I found the coach. And reveal also when you talk about the coach, be like, I was looking for a coach that could just get people results, or I was looking for a way that I could get people results without doing it. Another good excuse for you to make the event is also say, look, the way I got started, it was so hard, it was so challenging, it was a complete mess because I had to find out everything from scratch. And so I needed to find this system. So you need to reveal how you discovered the way to the system, or the way to the repeatable thing you're going to teach them in this event, or the way to the coach who has the repeatable thing. And then introduce how this coach had a back door, how you found a back door, and make it clear that this coach or you created a repeatable system that people are just able to use. And you need to state also, like, if you're the one who's coaching in the event, be like, look, it's just so easy for me to pass this along, and I've seen so many people get results. It's just a shame not to share this with people. And again, I have a little bit of financial incentive here. People end up wanting to work with me, or they want to get consulting from me. But right now, all I'm focused on is your results and getting you value on this call. Like, always be upfront about that. Don't do the whole BS like, oh, I'm just doing it to help the world, because you're not. You're lying. And if you want people to trust you who aren't stupid, they're going to see through that. So don't lie. Just tell the truth. Now, you can see what I'm doing in this example is I'm introducing Matt, and I'm talking about how I had to go and seek him out. And you want to mention, you know, I sought this person out because he had so many repeatable tactics, so many repeatable systems that work so well. Okay, and I saw so many people getting results. Okay? Or what you can do right here is say, look, the reason why I wanted to share this is because, you know, the thing that really got me to results was discovering how to template or turn this into a repeatable process. I'm a really analytical person, and that's what got me past the huge struggle point. And I figured if I made this event, well, after I shared this with so many people, the systems I made, the templates I made, people just started crushing it. So it worked so well for me and for so many people. That's why I wanted to go and share this on this event. And blah, blah, blah. And what you want to talk about when you're describing the coach or what you're doing is reveal, like, this is a new opportunity that I discovered, and I kind of just stumbled upon it through luck. Or this coach, he's been doing these things behind the scenes, and nobody really knows about this stuff. You want to reveal this stuff right here. So basically, how you discovered the big secret, why you're sharing it, and the results it's gotten for so many people because you've templated it. Introduce it as a backdoor, new or unknown, or the coach doing something in a back room that nobody knows about, because everybody thinks that's what's happening in the world. Everybody thinks there's some guy that nobody knows about that actually knows the secret to everything. And so you want to introduce the coach as this person. And then make it very clear the entire time that it's repeatable and systemized, and that's why you're sharing it.
$1,000 to $30,000 per day empire. And the cool thing about this is he built this in a span of months from home with virtually no investment, and he did it while working a job.
And he did it with all the things that you don't like. Without all the things you hate. Always restating the promise.
In his free time. And of course he went full time once the money started coming in. Now the reason why I wanted to reach out to Matt today to show you this is because what he's done, he's a very analytical, pattern-oriented guy. His whole job he quit was actually in analysis. And so what he did is he analyzed this business model that's really been going on since the 1950s, and he applied it to a new emerging market. And he turned it into a little checklist. I'm not joking. You'll go through the later on this event. There's actually a Literal checklist. Here's a slide. Here's a picture of what it looks like. We're not going to give it all to you right now because you wouldn't even understand what to do with it. But it's literally down to a checklist. It's annoyingly repeatable. And that's exactly why I reached out to Matt. I said, you got to come show people what you're doing. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the call because I know that Matt gets all flushed and embarrassed when I talk about him from a group.
So what you need to start doing too as well is so many people are used to like the God guru, the person who's so great, he's so awesome. You really want to put people, take them down a notch so that they're relatable to people. And you want people to think of it like their best friend who has a secret to the stock market. Like they understand their best friend, they relate to their best friend. Their best friend's just some genius who knows things that they could never comprehend, but he can template it and hand it to them. That's how you want them to feel. That's how you want people to feel about you. And so what I actually do right here, so we move on to the next part of the call, is I don't do this right here, but what you should do at this point, whenever we mention that template, notice when I talked about the checklist, I mentioned that when people are signing up for the call. So between these two slides out here, before we do that, just reveal the insane push button bonus. All right, so the checklist I mentioned is a really good example of a bonus. And say, look, this bonus will be sent to your email after the event when you make it to the end. And it really express, like this bonus right here is so awesome because it's just repeatable, and that's what all the people you're seeing are getting who are getting results are using. Okay, so at this point in the time, this is where we start the pain inception story. And what the pain inception story is when we're going through the triple diamond or even the double diamond, what we first must do is give the person a reason to change. Okay, so if we go through our triple diamond, what we're doing right here is we're going into story mode, okay? The story mode that I talked about in the prior video. And so what we're doing right now is we're going to tell stories that get us all the way through the diamonds. We're never going to tell people these things. We're going to tell stories of our hero or ourselves discovering all these things through a story. Okay? This is what we're going to accomplish. This is how we're going to accomplish the double diamond, or the triple diamonds. And in the final beliefs, maybe belief 3 is going to be really accomplished and smashed by the training that's actually in the presentation, but the story covers all these. And so let's watch how I tell the story right here, and you want to connect this either to yourself or your coach. Okay? Remember to watch the storytelling video before this, or none of this will make sense.
For people. And so I find that really funny. Anyways, man, I know you love this part of the call, right?
It's an important part, but it always makes me cringe when you guys go over this.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a very specific reason I sought Matt out, and it was because he wasn't a guru. The way I heard about Matt was from other people who had used his checklist and systems he'd shared it with, just personal people in groups, and said, who's the best? This guy's blueprinted the matrix, dude. That's what one guy said. I've known for long.
Okay, so what am I doing right here that's a little bit specific to the audience? This is why you can't template copywriting. All right, so for example, Make Money Line, people are effing sick of gurus. They're tired of gurus. They hate gurus. They hate these guys, okay? People are sick of the Lamborghini driving guy. So I'm literally going out of my way to make Matt not the Lamborghini driving guy. There's little things you need to think about that. Think about your market and what they hate or what they dislike or what they think is BS. And don't just do what other people are doing. It's very important.
Longest time. You don't want to follow the person who's screaming he's a king. A true king does not need to say, I'm a king. And I realized if I want to help people, I didn't want to go and find this guy, the guy who's constantly talking. And yes, I see the irony. I know I have a Lamborghini behind me. I'll save you the comments. However, if I want to help people start a business from home without being flashy, just in their back office, just doing the work, and without going and networking, without going and calling, without being some big personality online, I need to find a person who looks like this. This is a picture of Jeff Bezos, just putting his nose in the dirt and doing the work. Not flashy, but boy, does it get results. And this is what the person looks like that you want to listen to. And that's who I seeked out. And so I seeked out Matt. It was quite difficult because he doesn't have some calling card. He doesn't have some big professional Tony Robbins website. I actually found him through a buddy of mine who he was working with at the time. And Devin owns an app company that was basing all this technology off of Matt's business model strategies and making millions of dollars. And that's how I got in contact with Matt. And Matt was actually kind enough to sit down with me and tell me exactly what he did and how he did it and how he was able to build a business that's grown into a multi-million-dollar income in his free time while he was working a job without investing a ton of money. And all that negative stuff that people tell you comes with a business.
Promise, 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 promise without the things you hate. Over and over and over again. The Trump-like effect. Immigration, 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 immigration. If it's said a billion times in a person's face, it becomes true and important.
So I want to tell you what he told me so that you can go and copy it like so many other people have. So that's what we're going to do. And the craziest thing about it, when I met Matt and sat down with him, he told me it's not what you think, dude. I didn't start off as some Elon Musk. I didn't want to make my first million at 15. In fact, the cold hard reality is I want the complete opposite.
So what we're going to do now is with this pitch, when we're beginning the pain inception story, I really kind of told a story about how I kind of searched for this guru. I searched high and wide, and you want to have some story of how you discovered information or you discovered this path. Maybe you found it on some forum. Maybe you found it deep in some old book. I don't know, okay? You found it by reading a human genetics book or something like that. I don't know. But you have to find it in some weird way. You have to get bit by a spider, or you have to go through and search the mountains to find this hero, okay? Now, what I like to do is I like to show the coach as a god or hard to reach. If you've ever read Think and Grow Rich by, I forgot the guy's name, Napoleon Hill. who's the biggest scammer of all time. He never actually met Andrew Carnegie, but it's a great example of how to tell a story and connect everything to someone else that you've never actually met. But what he does in that book is he frames everything he's saying as coming from Andrew Carnegie. And so it's like this God speaking down through a microphone. He's interpreting it for the audience. And so it makes your position as a speaker very powerful. You can see I do that exactly here with Matt. And I described the conversation we had and his emotions and the way he's starting to explain the story. Now, what we're going to do with our God here or ourselves is we need to reduce ourselves to the person that is in the audience. Okay? We need to reduce ourselves to the pains and the feelings of the person that's in the audience so they can relate. Okay, no one's going to relate to a guy making $20,000 to $30,000 a day from a Shopify store. No one's going to relate to the guy with the six-pack. They're going to relate to the person who is in the exact same pain they are in right now. Okay, has the exact same thoughts they are. And so this is why you need to know your audience and what they're thinking. This is why, again, you can't make copywriting a template. You have to know what they're thinking. And so what I do is I reduce Matt to an audience member. I give him all the same pains, all the same habits, all the same things, put him in pictures that they're probably in, all the same places that they're in. And revealed that the coach had insecure pains just like the viewer. You want the pains to be very real, not just I wanted to make more money and I was sick of not being able to live the life I want of freedom and whatever. That's bullshit. That's the weakest pains I've ever heard. A pain is like, man, I came home one day and I was living at my parents' house and my girlfriend's just sitting there at the table disappointed because I knew she wanted to get married and I couldn't even afford to get her a wedding ring or move her out of the house. I felt humiliated. I didn't feel like a man because I couldn't provide for the woman of my dreams, and I knew this was just embarrassing and I had to change. That is an insecure-based pain, okay? So that's the type of pains we want to relay to the viewer that the person was in. Because then they're going to think of all the times they felt humiliated, they felt insecure, they felt like they weren't good enough because of money. That's exactly how we want to make them feel. We have to summon the pain out of them because they're probably not feeling it too much at this point in time. They would have bought something by now if they were already in that type of pain. So we have to really twist the knife right now and get the person in the pain.
I wanted to go to school, get a job, work on my career, and do that. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. Complete opposite. The problem was after I mastered, I was the best at it. I got to the point where I was struggling so much, I just wanted the ability to pay my damn rent. That's why.
Okay, now the most important thing with the pain story as well is if we go and look at our diamonds, this is what we're trying to do right here. What are their beliefs right now? How is their life right now? What must they be motivated to change first off? The thing we must put people in pain on, for example, when we're doing a Make Money Online webinar, is we need to make people feel that the safe life that they're living, go to college, whatever, work for 40 years, is completely unacceptable. Okay, so if you make people feel okay, if people are okay with being a little bit chubby, and you start trying to move them on to something else, they're not going to move, they're not going to accept any of the rest of the pitch. We need to first make the person feel like whatever state they're in right now is completely unacceptable. And you need to look at how they're living their life or what they're doing or the way they're investing their money or the way they're structuring anything, the way they're doing anything with their business. Okay? So for example, if I'm trying to inspire pain in a marketer that's selling courses, I need to talk about how everybody else is making so much more money than they are, how none of their ads are working, how the way that they're running their system will actually lead to them losing their business in the long term. I need to make them go, oh crap, I cannot do this any longer. And that's exactly what you're going to see me do right here.
I became an entrepreneur. That's why I started this. I'm not some tech whiz kid. I was never into coding. I never even thought about building an entrepreneurship business when I was growing up. I just want stability.
Okay, so this is also the viewer. They're not coding whiz kids. They've never thought of being an entrepreneur. They just want stability and a comfortable, stress-free life. This is what people want. Okay? People don't want to become an entrepreneur. People don't want to lose weight. They want to be able to feel good about themselves and feel comfortable and not be stressed out about these problems they have. Okay? Very rarely do people actually want to go and achieve mass amounts of gain. Very rarely do people consider themselves the smartest person in the room. They consider themselves, I'm just an average Joe. I just want a little bit out of life. I just want to look in the mirror and not feel humiliated by how I look. I just want to look in the mirror and not. I don't want to be a six-pack god. I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be able to have enough money to occasionally get my wife a gift or afford Christmas without having to struggle or get my kids the Christmas present they deserve. That's what people want. And so if you're selling them some entrepreneurship or some business or a six-pack, you're so fucking off base. You need to sell people what they want.
Comfortable, stress-free life. And pursuing this resulted in me being in a place where I was stuck and scraping desperate for a way out. It was really hard. That's why I started this, because I was so frustrated because I did the right, safe, proven way first. I went to school and got good grades. I did all the internships. I went to college. I was supposed to get a good job. I was supposed to have this happily ever after. And now the problem was, those words, safe, right, proven. The machine that people get into, the machine that people do right now, a lot of people in this hall,
So right now, I'm just doing an all-out onslaught. I'm making the hero seem like the viewer. I'm telling how the hero was just like the viewer. He had the same exact problems, the same exact issues, and how the hero discovered that the life he was living, the life that the viewer is actually living, is actually, it's hell disguised. That the whole thing that everybody else has told him is the right way is actually hell. Because people say the safe life is right, proven, etc. I'm going and attacking the beliefs that they have right now and making them feel in massive pain about those beliefs and want to change those beliefs and change how they live their life. That's what's happening right here.
And you do talk to them, they're probably in it. It's that 1930s based life model that doesn't work anymore because it's 2019, 2020. You know what it is? People go to school, they get a career, work that for 34 years. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. I experienced it first half. I went through the whole entire machine. I experienced it firsthand. I went through the whole entire machine. I said, wait, what's the machine? He said, you know exactly what it is. It's what your parents, friends, family tell you to do. You go to school, you work, you're able to support your family. Everything goes great if you just put in the work.
Notice how Matt is telling me this. He's telling a story to me. I have not once told the audience members that they're in this machine, that they're suffering from this. Because the person started identifying with Matt right here. They're not hearing about Matt. They're hearing about Matt discovering it. Then they connect with Matt, and they're discovering all these things for themselves through Matt's story. I'm never telling them. It's inception.
People go to school, they get a career, work that for 34 years. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. I experienced it first half. I went through the whole entire machine. I experienced it firsthand. I went through the whole entire machine. I said, wait, what's the machine? He said, you know exactly what it is. It's what your parents, friends, family tell you to do. You go to school, you work, you're able to support your family, and everything goes great if you just put in the work and you be a model citizen. That's not the case. I was so excited when I got out of school. I thought I'm gonna get this big job, it's gonna be awesome. And the result was anything but that. And so Matt's reckoning, and forgive my smiles, the visualization of this always cracks me up, but this is a really dark, serious time in Matt's life. His happily ever after got canceled by a man named Mr. Dougal.
So, like we discussed in the storytelling section of this week, a good story has a good villain. It always does. And so what you want to do in this section is, when we're going and attacking the pain, we need to go and make the right way wrong. That's what I'm accomplishing right here in this section. Make the way that they're living right now wrong. And the best way to inspire a lot of pain and intention is to introduce a disgusting, gross villain. Don't introduce a Darth Vader, because people like Darth Vader. You want to introduce that, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, I think it's like Wormroot or something. It's like this gross little advisor that's poisoning this king and making him do all these things. You want that villain that people hate, that disgusting little wart type character that no one respects and is so mad that this person's in power. Because that's how people feel about their lives in general. And so you want to introduce a gross, disgusting villain to increase the pain and anger. You want them to want to lash out at something, and a villain is the best way to do that. Now, I'm not talking some villain who smirks at you and stuff like that. You need to describe the villain. So if you were some fat guy and there's this guy at the gym always making fun of you, you don't want to describe him as like this hunk that people look up to, this Hercules. You want to describe him as this super over tanned guy, always like smelled like spray tan, and his muscles were so huge it was just gross. And this guy would walk around like he was king of the earth and be pushing everybody around, and he would always make me feel, he'd always walk by and almost giggle at me. And I hated it because I could tell this guy was an idiot. Okay, he didn't even look good. And I was like, man, if I could just get a body where, you know, I could actually look so much better than this guy right there and actually show him up or something like that. You have to have some viewer that people do not respect and they feel is gross. Okay? And it has to be someone that they hate, and then you need to describe their smell, how they live, the things they're eating. Okay? Because those are such important parts of being disgusted with someone. And through this section right here, I'm showing how the right way that people believe is the right way to live life is actually the wrong way, and all it delivers is pain. Instead of getting relief, you're going to get more pain. And show deep emotional suffering of you or the person, the icon, and then reveal the painful, relatable situations. You need to reveal the deep, insecure thoughts, the pain, the embarrassment, the humiliation, the feeling of not being worthy. These are the things that motivate people and cause pain, okay? Not being able to be successful doesn't cause pain. Being humiliated at Thanksgiving when everybody else in the family knows you're a fuck-up, that is pain, okay? You have to understand these things about the viewer.
Let me explain what that means. So like everybody else in the machine, Matt didn't get the career job that he wanted. He got what he got. He got what he begged for. The job market's very competitive. And most people that get into the machine, they get put into place working at a job they hate for someone they don't particularly like. And Matt got the pinnacle of this. Because after being declined from job after job after job, Matt had to accept anything. And that anything came in the form of him walking into an office with the AC cranked up. They wouldn't turn down past a bunch of dead-eyed employees. And Matt knew, oh no, this isn't good. And that was compounded by the fact that he walked in the back office, and in the back office there's a Jabba the Hutt, 48-year-old man with a box of Keebler cookies, sweating because he wouldn't turn down the AC in his own shop, saying, hey, You can come work for me. Come do analytical work for me. And when I actually Googled a picture of a fat man eating cookies, I got Durden Dursley from Harry Potter. And I showed my phone to Matt. I said, this is what he looked like. He goes, that's actually pretty damn accurate. I'm like, that is hilarious. So for the rest of this, I picture Durden Dursley yelling at Matt. And the biggest insult from all of this is Matt, who put all this time in college, done all the internships, done it all right, ends up working for Mr. Dougal, who of course that's not his name, but the rest of this is hilarious.
Okay, so one thing that's very important with all this visualization and words and imagery I'm creating, when a person imagines something in their own head, the same chemicals, the same experiences, the same thing, the same everything is released that would be released if they were actually experiencing that. Our imaginations and what we actually experience really aren't all that different from a what's the word for it? From a biological standpoint, for lack of better words. Physically, we experience the same things, the same fears, the same grossness. And so when I'm describing this person in the hot office and everything like that, the person is living it. That's how we get pain. That's how we trigger pain.
It's true. And Mr. Dougal never went to college. Never invested in his education a day in his life. Yet Matt was working for him. And so Matt's happily ever after turned into happily Mr. Dougal. And so Matt had to surrender to trading 72% of his life making Mr. Dougal rich. And that meant waking up every single day to go to that sweaty office where Mr. Dougal was either eating cookies in the corner or just didn't show up. He was just hanging out with his family while Matt made him rich. But he said,
okay, so one really important thing when it comes to causing pain, and you probably do this in your own life, everybody does, is turning it into actual numbers, making people actually read the numbers. Like if you actually go and show people the actual payments on interest and where their taxes are going and how much money they're losing over time and specific things, and really get it down to actual numbers and how much of their life, for example, they're trading at work, it starts to get really painful when they actually look at the truth. This is why most people don't like to look at their numbers, because the numbers are very painful because they're the truth.
this is going to lead to something good. Okay, this consistent paycheck, this career, it's going to be worth it in a few years, right? You fast forward a few years, no, not the case. Matt was just barely covering his living expenses while living with his parents, and the rest of his money was going to...
And also show how the hero or you was having the thoughts that they're having. Man, if I just go to college and do this, things are going to work out. You need to show that you went through that path and things did not work out, whatever that path is. And then show other people who didn't follow that path, or the villain taking advantage of that path.
was college debt, making all the people that own colleges rich. Well, then you go to work and make Mr. Dougal rich, because Mr. Dougal had a really cool strategy. He didn't give people
Everyone's getting rich except for the hero.
raises or reward his employees. What he did is he automated their work with software. So anyone that straggled, he just automated with software, fire them. Or what he would do is he'd lower pay constantly so he could hire more employees, so he could hire more employees that would make him more money. So he just split everybody's paycheck. And I told Matt, you probably should have known that. You probably should have known he was greedy when he was hogging all those cookies when you walked in. Did he even offer you one? Matt didn't think this was funny. I thought that was a hilarious joke. Whatever. So Matt said, I didn't work to get rich. I didn't work to grow my career. I worked so that I didn't get swallowed by my debt. Because if I got cut when he was automating people's jobs with softwares, I would get swallowed by my debt.
Okay, there's so many people right now who feel they're going to get swallowed by their debt. If they get cut, they don't like having this uncertainty. So see how I'm playing off the pain that they're constantly, I'm just putting them in the pain, putting them in the pain, putting the pain. And I'm making them realize, like, oh, this isn't going to work out. This isn't going to be great. And so if we actually go and look at some of the diamond file, I'm actively waging war on the first diamond right here. The safe life is held. They will be old and poor. The world is shifting. These are the things that I'm attacking right here, and I want them to feel. And I'm telling a story with the intention of making them feel these things. That's the point. We're not gonna lecture them that these things exist. We're gonna make them feel that these things exist. It's a big difference.
And most importantly, my pay kept going down. And Alex, at this time, I had a girlfriend. I wanted to get married. I was still living with my parents. And I thought, how the hell is this going to work out? And I had to realize the cold hard reality is there wasn't going to be a happily ever after. Just a long line of Dougals. Even if I quit this job, the only other job openings were working for other dickheads just
Your future, if you're living life like the hero, which you are, because we know that's why we're telling the story, is the line of Dougals. It's a line of pain.
like this guy. And it was pretty humbling when I realized after all the time I put into investing into the machine, the system that clearly no longer works these days, it was like going to a slot machine. If I didn't play the slot machine, I got swallowed by my college debt. If I did play the slot machine, I still lost. That's what my job felt like. And it was a dark time.
So Matt realized the future is going to be nothing but pain. The viewer realizes the future is going to be nothing but pain. It doesn't pay off.
When I realized the machine that was supposed to be the risk-free route, Alex, it was actually risk-free. It took all the risk away from me because I didn't even have to worry about winning. I just automatically lost. I pulled the machine, boom, lost. No risk at all. I thought that.
One powerful thing you can do is with the safe life or whatever system people are doing right now is make them realize that even if they play it to the best of their abilities, they're still going to lose. It's a guaranteed loss. There's absolutely no way to win, period. So they might as well change.
That's actually a pretty funny way to look at it. Because it's not funny, dude, because I felt like Ryan Reynolds in the oxygen torture tank in Deadpool. Of course, this was funny to me, too, because I pictured Mr. Dougal performing this horrible torture on him. If you don't know what they did in Deadpool, basically they put Ryan Reynolds in an oxygen tank. They suck all the oxygen.
Okay, so if you've ever been stressed, what I'm doing right now is I'm making people feel the physical pains of stress. When Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool gets into this oxygen tank right here, you can imagine what it's like, and it's unbearable. You don't even want to think about it. And everybody's been stressed before. They felt that pain in their chest. They felt that racing mind. They felt like Ryan Reynolds in the oxygen tank. I want people to feel like that as they start thinking about their life right now. This is inflicting actual pain. This is how we get people to move forward and open their mind to the change we want to put in. We want them to adapt to.
oxygen out and give him just enough air to breathe and then suck that out too. So he's just stuck in a constant state of suffocation. He said, that's what I felt like. I thought to myself, when do I get to breathe? How am I ever gonna have a family with such instability? How am I gonna enjoy life like this? When do I get to have disposable income? When can I go to Whole Foods and get some organic food without wanting to cry? When can I take my girlfriend on a date without feeling like a loser, without having a heart attack when the bill comes? When can I stop worrying about money? When can I stop borrowing money from my parents and getting those disappointing looks? I got into this
Okay, so real pains, real insecure thoughts.
so I could be one of those people that people look up to. A person, they say, that person has their life together. I put everything together. I got it all together. And I was not becoming that person. I did not feel like that person, Alex. And the questions kept piling on because on top of that, I could have dealt with being broke, but I didn't even know if I was going to be safe next week. The job market is ridiculous. The average amount of time people spend at a job is 2-3 years. So I had no stability whatsoever. How on earth could I ever retire? When was I ever going to be able to relax? And most importantly, Alex, I wasn't asking to be a millionaire. I was just asking to be able to wake up happy and not have to work out of fear. And I desperately wanted something else. I sat there, stressed over bills, shamed by the amount of money I was making. And overall, getting zero fulfillment out of what I was doing and thinking, I want it, but I don't know what something else is. And the breaking point came after putting another 60.
Okay, so at this point, we've completed the pain. Okay, the person's in a lot of pain right now. We've moved from this diamond right here to motivation. So where do we go? Where do we go? Okay, and we introduce where we're going to go with the breaking point. Okay, and so the breaking point is where the suffering hits a peak. And what is going to happen is we're going to start attacking the Diamond 2 beliefs. So, for example, these are limiting beliefs that will stop people from moving in the direction that we want to move in. For example, online business. What do people think about online business? It takes money, it takes investment, it takes tons of time, it takes tech skill. We need to tackle these, okay? They're scams. We need to tackle these. And so we need to reveal how the deep pain led to the icon finding truth and compare the pains of the right way to the truth. So we show that, hey, the right way is bullshit compared to this way. That's what we want them to feel like. Okay, so we're going to attack each Diamond 2 belief so that we can move to the final belief structure, which is, hey, Shopify is the best thing for you. Our solution is the best thing. Look, what you've been thinking about, the broad general topic of what we are, what you've thought about online business, what you've thought about weight loss, what you've thought about investing, what you've thought about getting a promotion at work, that's not actually true, and here's why. And then our way, the truth, is what you need to be focusing on. But we need to convince them that their current beliefs are the reason why they're in pain. And they're going to say, oh, I'm in pain, so I'm going to drop these beliefs and I'm going to take on these new beliefs, which are based around what we're selling, and go all in on these new beliefs, which is buying what we're selling. Now, actually, I'll go through all this as we get through it.
Our work week. Google walks up to me, waddles up to me actually. Again, I'm hot as shit, pissed off. He looks me in the eye and mumbles, we need to make another pay cut so we can get more staff. And he didn't say staff, but I knew that's what that asshole was doing.
Okay, so this is the breaking point, okay? Where enough is enough. The pain boils over. Okay, and so a lot of people are feeling like they're in this breaking point. These are the people they're going to be buying.
And I just looked at my computer, dead-eyed, and it was only 9 a.m. in the morning. I still had many more hours of work ahead of me, and just realized my grand reward for doing it all right, and doing what everybody told me to do, was a life spent at Mr. Dougal's office, suffering, while that dude's in the corner eating cookies, or at home with his family while I make him rich, because I was damn...
The reward for your current way of life is eternal hell. That's how people must feel by the time we get to the breaking point. Okay, so there must be a better way. What's a better way? Online business. Intermittent fasting, or understanding the specific things about what we're going to be doing. Okay?
Good at the analytical work I did. And so when I actually sat down to find what I wanted out of life, fulfillment, financial stability, freedom, choice, I realized this machine wasn't taking me there. It was just a track through a dark tunnel that ends with darkness. And so that's really more reason. Let me explain in a little bit more logical sense. And so here's a better way to look at it. Once I defined what failure was in my life, which was not getting those...
Compare their belief structure right now with where they could be going. Okay? We want them to feel that the current life they're in right now is an automatic loss, so they might as well roll the dice on something new. The benefits are all over here. A guaranteed loss is over here with what they're already doing.
Things, choice, freedom, financial stability, stress-free, the ability to enjoy my work and get fulfillment out of what I do. It was really clear what was going on because I, of course, thought about starting a business, and I realized when I put it all together what failure truly was, which was not enjoying my life, not getting fulfillment out of my life, one option was clearly the better one. Look, this is the thing that drives me crazy when people say, no, stay in your job and your career. Because people think the machine, the career to job route is the way to avoid risk, the way to avoid failure. But if you actually define what ultimate failure is, this is my definition of ultimate failure. Waking up at 60 years old, not having anything to show for my life, still struggling, still unfulfilled and full of regret. That is ultimate failure.
It's so important that you keep showing them where their current lifestyle is going to take them. That's what's going to cause them to want to change their lifestyle.
Because at that point, yeah, you can still maybe turn around, but it's probably not going to happen. You are stuck. You are condemned. That's where you are going to stay. And that's it. That's ultimate failure, Alex. And people think that if they just keep going down this road, they keep staying at their job, they're somehow going to avoid that. Well, they're not. No amount of going down the wrong road is going to take you to where you want to go. If you're trying to get to the beach and you keep driving the opposite direction, you're never going to get there. And just like driving the wrong direction, the farther you go in that direction, the farther you are away from the beach. And so I realized there's no reward for that 20, 30 years of suffering at my job. It's suffering met with the final ultimate failure. And so I thought, yeah, building a business, it's challenging. There's going to be some struggle, but I'm going to struggle either way. Except on this ride, if I get to the peak, I get what I want. The struggle will be worth it in the end. And at least I'm working for myself and not Mr. Duke.
So what is the belief we're trying to get them to believe right now? Entrepreneurship is a way better to go than what I'm doing. That's the whole point of Diamond number 2. you know, if we're doing weight loss or something, you know, all right, sure, these diets are hard or something like that, but this is way better than the way I'm going. Okay, we need them to believe something different. Okay, that your form of investing, your form of weight loss, or your form of what's going on is better. Okay, there's a better something out there.
Cool. And then a humbling thing I did, Alex, was actually pull up this one chart and define for me in blocks how long.
And we want to give them scarcity. Like, when is it time to change these new beliefs? Right now. I like to use this red block chart right here to show when people are going to die, saying like, when are you going to solve this? Because eventually you're not going to have time to solve this, and you're going to spend most of your life in a state where it's not solved and it's just going to cause you pain. How long are you going to stay in pain for? How long till you change your beliefs and actually see the real way that people are losing weight? So, for example, if we were trying to do this in weight loss, we'd make people first feel massive pain for being a little bit chubby, then show them, man, I saw tons of other people out there. They were losing weight. They're doing weight, and they're doing intermittent fasting. And I thought to myself, well, you know, that seems crazy, but it's actually not crazy. And then we're going to attach it to the final belief structure, which is your form of intermittent fasting. Okay, you want to talk about how you got into intermittent fasting and didn't actually work until you found your form of intermittent fasting. Okay?
I'd been on Earth and how long I had left. And I realized if I kept driving in this direction, like I told you before, I was going to run out of time to turn around. The farther I went down this road, the farther I was down this road that I did not want to go down. Look, I was 27 years old at the time. And what was my reward? If I stayed on this for another 10 years, I'd be 37 years old, nearly 40, still making a shamefully low amount of money, still struggling and pissed off and more stuck than ever. And if I stayed there for another 10 years, boom, I'm 47 years old, almost 50 years old with no options. And at that point, you're out of options. You don't get a choice to swing. You get a choice to try and do something else. That ultimate failure is pretty much going to happen. And so I said, heck with it. I'm going to start a business because at least if I'm going to struggle to get something that I want out of it. I'm going to struggle either way. At least I don't have to spend 30, 40 years suffering in the struggle to get nothing in return. To get all my options taken away from me. So I decided to start a business. Now, of course, my parents told me I was a crazy person. The rest of my family looked at me skeptically. My friends thought, oh, no, please don't do this to yourself, Matt. And my employees laughed at me because they were already in a manic depressive state at that office. They just wanted everyone to be sad. I said, no, I'm going to do this because all these people telling me don't start a business, Alex, it's the same if I went to the gym.
Okay, so like you have to think about what are the limiting beliefs people will have. What about intermittent fasting? What's the limiting belief people have? Well, if you don't eat, you're going to starve. Okay, so now what are limiting beliefs do people have about business? Oh, business it's risky. It's not going to work out. That's what their family and friends are telling them. We can't go and sell someone a way to start a business if they believe what their family and friends are saying. So we have to remove these limiting beliefs. That's what Diamond 2 is all about.
And there's a really fat guy standing there telling me, I'm going to help you lose weight. I wouldn't believe him because he can't lose weight on his own. And all these people, they're all stuck in the jobs. They're all stuck in the machine. I was so desperately trying to get out of. Why would I ever ask these people how to get out of the machine? These people were like fat people that decided to retire or surrender into eating cake for the rest of their life and condemning everybody who decides not to eat cake. Didn't make any sense to me. And as I spoke to more entrepreneurs, I saw the insanity of the machine that they preached. Because Matt told me this as he actually drew this out, and I've redrawn it for you in a way better format. A much better drawing than Matt is. He told me, though, this is where I was. This is where I was right then, and I wanted to get the freedom. But everybody and their dog told me I was blocked from it because entrepreneurship takes money, time, experience, luck. But I talked to a lot of other entrepreneurs, and this was nonsense. It was complete boulder dash.
So this is a really good drawing right here that you can use for pretty much everything. People want to get to where they want to go, and they always feel like there's some block, so they're going the other way around. You know? They're going the other way around. Think of the things that people think are blocking them. It's usually the things they hate. And what we want to do is we want to show them that this block doesn't exist. This is how we can really convince them that, hey, it's time to change your lifestyle, and this is a really good way to go.
You like those cool words I'm using? All right, so look. He told me, if I went to college, here's what it was complete boulder dash. You like those cool words I'm using? All right, so look. He told me, if I went to college, here's what it involved.
So it's not super important to hear what I say right here because you can go through it and listen to it. You know exactly what I'm doing. What I'm doing right here is I'm going and countering all the things that people would think. Okay, so first off, I'm pointing out right here, for example, most people think, oh, business is going to be super expensive. I can't do that. There's limiting belief number one, literally dragged from, you don't need hard costs. It's actually safe. So I need to tell stories, and Matt discovering these stories. I think you've kind of seen how I tell stories right now in a way that attacks these. So the first thing I do right here is I tell a story attacking, oh, well, people think businesses take a lot of hard costs. No, they don't. They don't at all. Actually, if you go look at McDonald's and Buddha Juice, if you build businesses like that, yeah, they take hard costs. But we don't do that, okay? We don't do that. What we do is we find businesses that don't have a large upfront investment. We find businesses that don't require more than us to run. We find businesses that don't require years of experience. We find businesses that don't require creativity or luck, all the things they hate, okay? So that's belief number one, knocked out. Okay, now we do cash flow, okay? It all comes from the strategy. It's a U-based model, and the investment is your time, not your money. And it's focused on your mind and skills. We have leverage versus investing money, just like, and then what we want to do is we want to show results, okay? So again, we're at this point of the pitch right here. We're going through the breaking point, and we're showing how we discovered this, and that moves us on to the next part of the pitch, where as we attack each of these beliefs right here, we show other people getting results. proving these beliefs are not true. Okay, so we attack the belief and then we show results. Attack belief, show results. And keep showing the right way is guaranteed pain, and this is the truth. And it's the truth because we're backing it up with other people's results. And show how this realization turned the world upside down for them. All right, so as we go through this, that Matt's world started to change. We start pointing out, oh man, I could be successful at a young age. I could be successful now. I don't need to have hard costs. I didn't need to be living this way. That's what we're showing right here. I can be successful young. I can be successful older. Okay, we're attacking all those beliefs. It takes years of experience. Okay, and so that's what happens in this part of the pitch right here. You can see we just identify the beliefs and then we tell stories about why the beliefs aren't true. Okay, and the way we counter this right here is the beliefs in my event right here that we're attacking are that, you know, that they need tech skills, they need hard costs, and it's actually safe. We show them exactly all these people getting results without hard costs. We show the people getting results without losing money, and we show them average people getting results. And so that's what we're attacking right there. So where's the person at right now? We put them in massive pain with the story. Then we show how Matt actually realized the truth of the world, and then we show the best way to apply that truth to the world, which is e-commerce in this instance. So if we're doing weight loss, being chubby's hell, intermittent fasting is actually great, but this specific form of intermittent fasting is the best way to do it. Okay, so we put them in pain, we show them a new vision of the world, and then we isolate that vision to a way to get success with that vision that has to do with their product at the end. So what then happens is we show the hero forging the weapon. Our goal is to show that the hero. And so the next step of the pitch is the big discovery. Okay, so they found out the world is not quite like it seems. There's ways around the problems that they're having. Now, what's the best way around them? And that's the discovery. And then what we need to show is not only the icon making this discovery, but forging a weapon that allows them to get results from the discovery easily. Now, let me explain what forging the weapon means. What we want the hero to do is to forge an item that only the hero could forge, but an average person can use. That's what our product is. Our product is the weapon. We want people to think that the hero is so much smarter and has some special ability that they could never have. So, for example, Luke Skywalker has the Force, but then Luke Skywalker created this magic box that he could pass to anybody that gives them the Force too. That's what we're doing right here. The hero has this weapon that only he could forge, but if an average person uses this weapon, they can go and get the same exact results. And so what we want to do is we want to show how the icon stumbled upon the solution, and we want to explain in a way that a third grader can get. So basically, I'm actually explaining what Shopify is. I'm not explaining, hey, this is Shopify. I'm explaining all the parts of Shopify so they understand it, and then we give it a label, Shopify, here in a little bit. And we want people to believe that the solution is very accessible. So for example, Shopify and dropshipping has all the things they're looking for in a business. No hard costs, no upfront costs. It can be started from home. They can leverage it, but it requires secret knowledge to actually get it to work. Okay, so if only they had this secret knowledge, if only they had the weapon. And what we want to do is we want to show the hero, the icon, trying to do this without the secret weapon. Okay, and then disgusting villain winning. So let's get to that point.
Skill, your strat.
So what we're going to do is I want you to see how I explain Facebook right
For $30, once you pay...
or how I explain how Matt discovered Shopify. He did it to cruising around drunk one night late on the internet. Okay, like he stumbled upon this magic solution. It's the perfect online business, the perfect cash flow business.
If I keep going down this path. And so the way out, Alex, actually came from me browsing Facebook late at night. And I said, you realize that stuff rots your brain? He goes, I get it, stop making jokes. Okay, so how did this happen? He said, there's this vegetable cutting machine that I bought at Target for $50. And I saw it on Facebook, and it was being sold by a store for $30. And I thought, the Target just ripped me off? And then I saw it being sold again for $25 on Facebook through another app. And so I clicked on it, and I copied the title of the product from the store, put it in Google, and I saw it was actually being wholesaled from a Chinese website. And by that means it was being sold from a site where you could just contact the warehouse that was making them and buy them for the wholesale price, which was $5. And so Matt went to one of these stores and bought one of these cutting devices, and they sent it to him. And the crazy thing is, it was directly from that warehouse. That meant these stores, they weren't even going and buying these things up front. What they were doing is they were selling it, a picture of it, on their stores for $30. Once you paid them the $30, they went and bought it for $5 and shipped it directly to you and kept the $25 profit. And Matt was about to be mad until he realized that Target was doing the same exact thing. In fact, Whole Foods.
Okay, so do you see what I just did right here? What I did is I explained the concept of Shopify without giving it a label. So people are like, oh, okay, so people on the internet are selling these items for these certain things. You want to explain the concept of what you want people to start doing or move to without giving it a label first. If you give it a label, they don't understand what it is. You need to put it all in a box and then slap the label in the box. So at this point, what I do right here in this specific video is I explain how Shopify works in the big connection. And then what I do is I show what the name of this is. It's called Shopify e-commerce dropshipping, because this business model right here, again, we're moving them to the next point in the script, which is discovering the weapon, okay? Now what we need to do is we need to show them, we're showing them first off, you know, what's the solution? Oh, it's Shopify. But again, it's super accessible, it requires secret knowledge. And the way we express that is we don't want them to just run off and say, okay, I'm going to go do Shopify. It's the easy way out. We want them to believe that they can't do Shopify on their own, because Matt goes and tries and does Shopify on his own. Okay? He goes and tries it, and it was hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss. And it actually ended up almost bankrupting him. He was suffering from all the same problems that everybody thought. All the same problems that everybody thought come with starting an online business. And at this point, what we want to do is we want to show him going and then forging the secret weapon. So what we show right here is Matt using his analytical skills to create this repeatable process, this checklist that he could use over and over and over again to get results with Shopify. That's what's happening right there. We show that hero or yourself creating this process that's repeatable, that can be used over and over and over again to get results. Because at first, when he tried it without his secret knowledge, it just exploded in his face. And that's what you're going to be looking at when you look at this part of the presentation. But then what happens is he applies this checklist. And at first it doesn't work. Okay, this is the most important thing. Because you want there to be some breath moments. That moment where the person takes the leap of faith and you're not sure if it's going to work or not. And so what we show is, again, let's back this up. Matt discovers Shopify while browsing around late at night. He discovers the secret weapon. He discovers the solution late at night, but the solution doesn't automatically work because it takes some secret knowledge. So then the icon of the hero uses his special talent, where Matt's ability right here was to be super analytical, be an analyzing person, because he worked in finance and he was able to go out there and work with spreadsheets and stuff like that. People think he's just some number crunching genius or something like that. So Matt then uses this to create his own secret weapon that he then uses, to go and do this. So luckily, Matt's a mega analytical guy. He itemized the likes, the headlines, the ad types, the store designs. He did all this complicated secret knowledge that you don't want to do. And then he went and did it. He launched the ad, and it didn't work. Oh no, he's fucked, okay? And then we want to show the villain winning at this point. So we're going through these points right here. Show that the icon failed at first, not having the weapon. Show deep despair on the villain winning. And then explain the story of forging the weapon. Okay? Now you can kind of flip these ones around. What Matt does is he forges the weapon, and it shows deep despair, and then the weapon comes out, and he wins in the last minute. But either or, as long as you follow this process right here, it's going to work. And at this point in time, a miracle happens. Okay? The weapon works. Okay? Matt goes through and he wakes up one morning, and all of his ads start working. And then he uses the weapon again and again. And it becomes a repeatable process to gain the exact result that the viewer is looking for. Okay? We can't just have the icon or the coach go out there and in his first shot go and have success with this thing, especially without some secret weapon or secret knowledge, because then the viewer is going to think they can do it on their own, and then they're not going to buy anything. That's what's going on in this section right here. Okay? So when you go back and watch that, that's what's happening. Okay? And so then what happens at this point in time, the weapon worked, and the villain's defeated. Okay? So they get to celebrate defeating this big, disgusting person. You can see him delivering his note, him quitting, and this is the big relief. Finally, the person's gone through this big emotional battle so far. They went through massive pain to discovering something and then feeling this massive relief of beating the villain. All the problems they had before, they just don't exist anymore. And this creates massive desire for the weapon, massive desire for the thing that the hero Craig, because now they're thinking, man, I couldn't go do this on my own. I really want to change, and this looks like the right path. I just need that damn secret weapon. And so this is the part of script where the hero comes and then starts sharing the fire with the world, okay? We're going to show things like how great the person's life is now. Matt was able to quit his job. He's now abundantly wealthy. And we want to show them sharing the welcome or sharing the weapon with other people while stressing, look how good his life is now. He's able to wake up and live the exact dream that you're looking to live. He's able to go and do this thing. He's debt-free. He has zero stress, no worry about bills or finances. He just gets to hang out with his family. And he hasn't done anything for money in a long, long time that he doesn't want to do. All those pains that we had before are gone. But most importantly, this weapon was so finely crafted that he was able to go out there and share it with tons of other people. And they were able to go and get the exact same results. More people like you, more people like you, people like you. How would your life be different? That's the next step. Okay, and again, this is, all lifted up. All right, show the average man getting repeatable results from the icon's weapon. Ensure the weapon seems impossible to recreate by the average person, but easy to use when acquired. Look at all these people right here getting results using the weapon. Matt's living proof that the weapon works, and all these people that have gotten results, this is what they're doing. They're just copying the icon's weapon. Okay, so at this point, we're going to make them imagine their life with the weapon. All right, so we've created extreme desire for our solution now. And make the viewer imagine a different life. Make the different life seem easy to achieve with the weapon. Show the results others have gone with the weapon. Emphasize the repeatable and easy success the weapon gets. And show the genius icon made something that's impossible and repeatable. All right, stress that the genius made something that is impossible and repeatable. All right, he's taken something that was very hard to do, that no one could ever do, and he's made it into a repeatable turnkey process with this weapon. And stress how having this weapon allows the user to move forward and skip all the hard stuff. Okay, and this is what I stress right here. I say, look, imagine your life without this. This is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I wanted to give my viewers. And Matt had literally created in a checklist. Okay, this is the exact same checklist that all those people were using, and it's allowing people to just skip the hard part. Matt went through all this hell on earth, and once he had the secret knowledge and forged weapon, well, now people are just starting right here and getting results right away. Doesn't that sound awesome? Everybody hits 2. Everybody goes, yeah, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. So then what we're going to do at this point in time is we're going to introduce the 3 keys training. And so the goal of this is to create the extreme desire for our solution. And so at this time, we're going to start what I like to call the 3 keys training. And this is really kind of up to you, but this is exactly what we want to do. We want to frame our solution in a way that meets 3 essential requirements. So for Matt right here, he says these are the 3 keys to success. Now that we've uncovered people, we've gone through the story, we have extreme desire to gain the weapon. We say, look, here's the keys to success. All right, what I discovered from this journey. It requires 3 things. It has to have the triple P factor, there has to be reinforcement and feedback, and it has to be rinse and repeat compatible. Okay? And we're going to explain what these 3 keys, and so this is going to be really based on what you are doing in particular. Okay? But we're going to structure our solution as the only thing that meets these 3 keys. So, for example, Alex, from this journey, I discovered these are the things that are essential to going and getting success. Now that everybody in the audience understands, all right, this is the thing, what we're going to do. This guy has a weapon. He's going to now explain the keys behind his discovery so they can go and make the same discovery. And really what we're doing right here is we're using this to make people understand this is the only way forward, and we're making them understand it. Okay, and this is not always needed in webinars. However, when we're doing the training right here, we need people to understand how it works. We don't want to give them the nuts and bolts. We want them to understand how it works. Okay? And while we're doing this training right here, what we're doing is we're still attacking this final belief structure right here. So when I'm going and attacking this, what I'm doing right here is I'm really focusing on these beliefs right here. So I already kind of used this. I already kind of attacked this with the story, at the end of the story, with discovering the weapon. But now we need to really focus on these things. And so this is what the training is for. And so when we're doing the 3 keys, I've used this right here. I say, Alex, it takes these 3 things. The business model must fit these things. Well, the only business model that fits that is Shopify. Then it takes reinforcement and feedback. Well, the only way to do that is to join a community of Shopifyers. And it has to be rinse and repeat compatible. And so what you want to do when you're using the 3 keys and you're using the training is it really goes like this. And if you want to really structure this in a more repeatable way, the first key needs to be used to make people understand what it is and why it's needed. So the first key right here, when I'm going through the event, the triple P factor is saying you need these 3 things. You need to have a product to sell, a place to sell that product, and a consistent way for people to get to this product. Well, the only thing to do that is Shopify. And what we use in this first training right here is to make people understand this is why you need Shopify. Because it's the only thing that meets that category right here. And we help them understand why Shopify is needed and why it's the best way to move forward. That's what key 1 is for. Now, in training 2, we make people understand why they need coaching. And so what Matt says is, look, the number 1 thing you need to get, the next key that I discovered, is you need to be interacting with people that are also doing it as well. Okay? Because if you don't have reinforcement and feedback, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost. And so that's what the second training needs to be about. It reinforces the need for coaching community. And in the third training, needs to show people how much money they can make, how great the results can be, and how rinse and repeatable they are. So Matt shows, okay, so this is exactly what I do to go and make tens of thousands of dollars a day. So the first part of the training shows them why it's the best thing ever, and it's so simple, and it's needed. All right, why should we do Shopify instead of other things? Because it's the only thing that suits this, fits this exactly. Okay, and we sort of introduced Shopify and the weapon at the end of the story, but now we're really making them understand why Shopify is the best possible thing for them, and that it's very easy. It's the only thing that fits this criteria. And then what we're doing is we're stressing the need for feedback in a community. Okay? And then we show them just how much money they can make by rinsing and repeating it. It's a repeatable thing they can do over and over and over again. And that's what's going to be going on in the training section, but it's very much up to you. Now, again, remember, what we're going to be doing right here is the goal of the training is to help the user gain clarity on what's going on here, not results. We don't want the training to help people go and get results. We want the training to make people go, this is so easy if I just got this secret weapon from this guy. That's what you want people to feel like. Okay? Now, in this time period, you really want the coach or the person that's going to be doing the coaching or yourself, you really want to focus on just building rapport and respect by showing you know what you're talking about. Now, when you're also doing the training, never complicate or bring in new confusing ideas. So, for example, when Matt first made the first training, he started talking about like lookalike audiences and advanced targeting and like superstructures and like how to structure a store. His training was like 30 minutes. You want to keep the training to like 15 minutes to 20 minutes total. And you don't want it to be going off in tons of solutions. Like the people don't even know what the Facebook Ad Manager is. So all we said is, okay, the Facebook Ad Manager just allows you to target people based on what they like on Facebook. And we left it at that. You don't want to explain the sign-up process. You don't want to explain the logging in process. You don't want to explain how audiences work or bidding. No, just explain things that are most basic concepts so the person can understand how they get results, not how they can go out there and do it on their own. Now, as you're going through the training, keep stressing repeatability and done-for-you tools and systems that your course or that you're going to be providing here very shortly. You can see when we're going through this, Devin and Matt keep pulling up their checklist, saying, will we just follow this checklist every single time? Just follow this checklist. We just follow this checklist. We just follow this checklist. It's repeatable. If only you had this weapon. Okay, so that's how the training will work. So the final parts before we get to the close, which is, the close is the easy part. You can use the same close across every presentation. It can be templated all day. Finally, what we need to do to wrap this up was we recap exactly what they learned in the training and present it in a rinse and repeat way. Look, this is the roadmap to a 5 to 6 figure business. You just follow step 1, follow step 2, follow step 3, and you just repeat it over and over again. Do it once, $200 a day. Do it again, over and over and over and over and over again. It's simple and repeatable. And then you grill the audience. Look, is this 30-day simple? Is this 5-day simple? And what I'm doing right here is when you've structured this the right way, it should be so simple and easy if they just had the weapon. It should be so simple. If only you had this weapon, how simple would this be? How simple would this be? And you can see just how simple this is to rinse and repeat if you just had the weapon, especially these checklists. That's what we're achieving right there. And then finally, what we're going to do is we're then going to give them an option when they're going to fix this. Okay? So look, we agreed this simple. You've seen exactly how this works. You've seen the 3 steps. You've seen why Shopify is the best. You've seen why you need community. You've seen how rinse and repeat repeatable it is and how much money you can make here. And you've seen just if you combine these together, it's just the sky's the limit. Look at all these other people that have gotten results. Remember to keep showing results whenever you talk about how easy something is, how good your product is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give them an option to go back to hell. All right, we're going to say, when are you going to solve this? I like to use this red block analogy right here. This is how much time I've spent on Earth. This is how much time I have left. When are you going to solve this? When are you really going to go and solve this? And we say, look, how many people want to solve this right now? How would your life be different if you solved this, if you had the weapon, if you had match repeatable systems? Okay. Well, here's the thing. You have 2 options. You can walk the minefield blind. So basically what we're going to do at this point in time is say, look, all right, we've given you everything we can deliver on this call. You can go out there and try and do this with no guidance. You can try and go and walk this minefield and just go watch this part of the pitch. Okay? I'll even watch it with you right now.
Like the less time you have to be able to enjoy financial freedom. Can you give me 2 if that makes sense? And that's why we push this so hard. You don't have to wait 100 years. You don't have to wait till you're almost all out of Greg Locke's. Wait, when you're 67 years old, enjoy your money. You've seen so many other people doing that. And in this event, we've given you the clip notes, doing this as fast as possible. We try to cram as much as we can into this hour. The question I have for you right now is give me 2 of you like all the notes. Not just all the notes, Matt's exact checklist, looking over his shoulder as he builds ads and builds sites and gets them profitable. Looking at him doing it over and over and over again and being supported by an entire community that's actually done it over and over and over again. How would your life be different? Give me 2 if you think your life would be different if you had Matt's exact systems, his exact checklist, all this stuff he's doing, and a huge community of people supporting you doing it. A lot of 2s. So look, at this point in the call, you have 2
How would your life be different if you had all this?
choices. You can walk the minefield blind. And I can read this whole list of stuff right here, but you just need to remember what happened to Matt when he was first doing this. He went through, he tried it out, he lost thousands of...
Long story short, if you go and do this on your own, you're going to get blown up. Nobody can walk through a minefield blind. Do you want to go get blown up? Or option number 2, do you want to do what every successful person ever has and get mentorship? Get the answers right on day 1. Have the cheat list right next to you. You're taking the test and you have the cheats. You have the answers to the test right next to you. Well, that's what every single successful person ever does. And we've already discussed in this call that if you want to be a successful person, you need to start doing what successful you would do. And in a scenario, what would successful you do? Would they go with option number 1 or option number 2? Everybody goes and starts hitting option number 2. And I say, how many of you guys want to go with option number 2? Everybody starts mashing 2. And so then we reluctantly say, well, I hounded Matt, and he actually did exactly that. We've created option 2. And since you guys are mashing that 2 option right now, let me tell you about what's going to be going on here. And this is what we like to call HCOM. This is what we like to call our product. And that right there is the first part of the pitch. You can actually see the second half of the pitch is the close. But the close is really easy. You can template the close. So we're going to be going over that in another video. But this first part of the pitch, you have to nail everything in this order. And you can see it really doesn't matter what is being said or what's on the slide. It's the order that you nail everything in and how you present things. Okay? So in the next video, we're going to be focusing on the close and how that works. Okay? And if you guys have questions, just tag me in the group and we'll discuss.